Hey guys, it's Jesse. I'm glad to have you here for another episode of a Trapper's Vlog. You get to see something new today. In the past, my videos have been more focused on residential work, but today we're out in western Kansas, and this is my largest customer, and this is an agriculture job. So, as you can see behind me here, we're in alfalfa fields, and in this particular location there's approximately 1,300 acres. Most of it is very, very sandy soil, and a lot of it has a severe gopher problem. We typically trap here year round, but it has been about 6 months since I've been here. We had several months of freezing conditions that prevented me from getting out here. And then I was busy in the early spring, and then the hay gets to a point that it's big enough that we do more damage by trying to drive around on it than the good that we do by getting rid of any gophers. So we have to wait until they start haying it, which they've done now. You can see the crop is very short. They just went through the process of cutting this down, raking it together, and getting it baled up for livestock feed. That's the purpose of alfalfa, is it's livestock feed. But now that the hay is short, we have a very short window of opportunity to get in here and try to trap gophers. A little bit sketchy on how things are going to go today. We've had several inches of rain over the weekend, and sometimes we can use that to our advantage, sometimes we can't. Luckily, because this ground is very sandy, it's never really muddy here. You just either have wet sand or dry sand. So even though it's recently rained, we're able to get out here and get around. The way that it can potentially help us is that rain creates a delineating time where we can tell were these mounds made since it has rained or previous to the rain. So if there's activity here, it should be very easy for us to spot and identify exactly where the gophers are working now. So let's get the cart unloaded, get our traps and stuff loaded up, and see what we're going to find today. Got all of our traps and tools loaded up. My goal today would ideally be to get around 100 traps out, but that's just going to depend a lot on what we're seeing. So let's hop in the cart and let's go see what we find. So here's a perfect example of some new activity that's happened since the rain. This is mounds that would have been made before the rain. You see the difference between those two? See how fresh, and you can just really see the granular structure of a lot of that. And then do you see how this is more compacted? You can just tell that the raindrops have beat around on that, and that's where we're gonna make our set at. So that was pretty good. We didn't have to drive far to find our first spot. So here's another spot that looks pretty good. Yep. And that's the thing about gopher trapping. When you are finding the best spots to make sets, it really shouldn't be that difficult. It shouldn't be that much work. You shouldn't have to be doing a lot of digging around, because the most recent tunnels will just open right up for you So that one was pretty simple. But we'll just repeat that another 90 some times today, and we'll be off to the races. So besides cleaning the loose soil out, I'm feeling what that tunnel does, the direction that it goes, if there's an intersecting tunnel down there somewhere, and all that information I use to help get proper trap placement now. And that's really the key to being successful catching gophers, is not just having good traps, but getting them in the right spot to be successful. I didn't know what we were going to find. I've put 3 sets in the ground so far in pretty short order. I didn't have to drive very far. I'm really happy. Things are looking good. I think there's plenty of gopher activity here. So we're just going to rock on and get as many traps out as we can. Example of new versus newer. You can tell that both mounds have been made since this most recent rain we've had. But look at the coloration difference. See how the mound on the left is darker colored? That's just an indicator of the presence of a higher moisture content. And so of these 2 sets, I'm going to try the one on the left first. And if it doesn't work out, if I'm not happy with it, I would go ahead and try to make a set on this one here on the right. But I'm just demonstrating a good example of the difference between new and newer. Well, we had a pretty good day. I was here for 4 hours and 15 minutes and got 100 traps out. So that's really, really good. That even includes a little extra time setting up and taking down the camera so you guys can follow along and see what I do here. So we'll see what the results are tomorrow, but all in all, I feel like the gamble to come out here is paid off. Good morning. It is day 2. Beautiful morning out. You can see the sunrise behind me. I love it. We're gonna get loaded up and go check some gopher traps. As I said, this hay is produced for livestock feed, and there goes a semi-load of it right there, headed out to feed some hungry cows. Got him. It's a good way to start the day. That one's kind of on the smaller side of average, but we still got to get them all out of here. Another one bites the dust. I've got 3 traps here, pretty close together, so we're going to have a good test of what the population density is around here. Well, there's one. There's 2. And there's 3. Checked 5 traps and got 5 gophers. That's a pretty amazing start to the day. I also think what makes a big difference in your success rate as a gopher trapper is learning what sets to say no to. Sometimes that's way more valuable, is learning when to walk away from a set and knowing that it's got a low probability. That will save you more trouble and make you much more successful as a trapper. So many gophers. We had a visitor at this set last night. Here's my plug. I can't see definitive footprints, but I'm going to guess that it was a coyote just based on the damage that I see. I don't know if we have anything here or not, but it was sure here and trying to dig up my trap. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Empty trap there. So it's pretty annoying, but a lot of times on the very first night of trapping, you can kind of skate by without the badgers or the coyotes causing you too much trouble. It usually takes them one night to figure it out, but that wasn't the case here, and it looks like I'm in for a long day of picking up partial gophers and dug up traps. But we'll keep plugging away. That's just the life of a trapper some days. If you're a gopher trapper, this is like finding gold. This tunnel is still under construction currently by a gopher. We love to find these open tunnels. You walk up here, slap a trap in the ground, and go on. It's day 3. Yesterday it ended up raining on us. Kind of ended up being moderate rain all day long, and then just absolutely torrential downpour, several inches last night. I really don't expect us to find any new activity today. I'm just here to recover my 35 traps that I was able to get set yesterday before it started raining. Hopefully we got a high percentage catch rate on those. Really not going to see any new sets made today, but hopefully we'll have some good footage for you of some nice catches. So let's get the gopher cart loaded up and go check some traps. In spite of the rain and other challenging conditions that we faced this week, for the amount of time that was invested, we got along really well. Ended up catching 109 gophers in 2 days. Out of that 109, there were 26 that were eaten partially or wholly by badgers or coyotes, and that's just the challenges that we face. They hit a high percentage of the sets. Really glad to have you guys here and riding along with me. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Interact with us. I want to hear from you.